and we are about to begin. I'm going to wobble the little phone stands just a couple more times to see if I can get the angle a little bit better. And boom, here we are. Let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go. It's time to do 45 to 60 minutes of live side split stretching and hip mobility. And I am struggling real hard to get this tiny angle adjustment. Boom, all right, we're ready. Grabbing the stool, getting it out of the way. We're doing 45 to 60 minutes of live side split stretching and hip mobility work. We do this every single day to practice consistency, to build a little bit of community, to make the suffering we're about to put ourselves through a little bit more fun, a little bit more entertaining, a little less miserable, so that it's easier to practice a little bit of consistency. All right? That's the spiel. Hit follow, hit subscribe, keep coming back. Cool. All right. We're going to warm up with some hip cars. Hip cars are all about taking your hips and your legs through their maximum range of motion using your own muscles so that you get stronger and more mobile at the same time. All right, looks like this. We're bringing our knees up as high as we can, directly in front. If you feel like you can go a little bit higher, go a little bit higher. Then we're going to open up that hip. We're going to bring that leg out that way and try to keep the knee a little bit higher if you can. All right. Next, we're going to rotate and we're going to bring that ankle back. It's going to get hidden behind the knee. If I just turn around and I show you, it's just, behind the knee. Didn't go anywhere. We're going to keep rotating. This is not a magic trick. This is not that type of life. We're going to bring the knees down. We're going to lift the ankle up. Then we're going to do the opposite. We're going to bring the ankle down. No, wait, what am I talking about? No, we're not. Ooh, we're bringing the knee down, ankle up, and then we're going to finish by bringing the knee behind us. All right? When you bring the leg behind you, it's going to look a little bit like this. We're flexing the hamstrings, we're flexing the glutes, we're feeling the stretch in the front, in the hip flexor. I kind of had I forgot what I was doing in the middle of that. So I combined our next move and this move. So let me do it one more time. All right? We start with the high knee. We're opening up that leg to the side. We're rotating so the ankle comes up. We're rotating some more so the ankle comes up even higher. We're bringing the leg down and back. That is one rep. We're doing that 10 times on the left leg, 10 times on the right leg. Then we're going to reverse it, and we'll talk about the one that I messed up with. Go in reverse. All right? Let's go. High knee. Open. Ankle up some more. Down and back. That's one. High knee. Open. Ankle up. Down and back. That's two. High knee. Open. Ankle up. Down and back. That's three. If you're off balance, feel free to go grab something to hold on to. All right? High knee. Open. Ankle up. Down and back. It is more important that you focus on building up the strength in your hips, at least for the moment, than it is to figure out how to balance when your legs are going crazy and going all over the place. Most people don't need that much balance either. Back, that's six. High knee. Open. Ankle up. Down and back, that's seven. High knee. Open. Ankle up. Oh, off balance. Ankle back. Down and back. Eight. High knee. Open. Ankle up. Down and back, that's nine. High knee. Open. Ankle up. Down and back, that's 10. Woo! Those are some hip guards. We're going to go ahead and start on the other side. All right? Same thing. We're just mirroring it going the other way. High knee. See if you can lift that knee. Ooh, just a little bit higher. Open it up. Point that leg that away. Contract those glutes. If you can, pull that hip open. Rotate the leg so the ankle is hidden behind the knee. Then keep going. Lift the ankle even higher. Bring the knee down a little bit. Bring the leg down and back. That's one. High knee. Open. Ankle up. Down and back. That's two. High knee. Open. Ankle up. Down and back. It is very likely that you are not warmed up and that your first rep is going to be much more uncomfortable than the last rep on this set of 10. Take a time. Remember, you're going to get tired, but I want you to keep focusing on trying to get a little bit more out of your hip cut. All right? Whew. Six, I think. High knee. Open. Ankle up. Down and back. That's seven. High knee. Open. Ankle up. Down and back. That's eight. Two more. High knee. High knee. Some more. Open. Ankle up. Down and back. That's nine. Last one. High knee. Open. Ankle up. Down and back, that's 10. Whew. Oh, that is our 10 hip curls on the left side and the right side. We're gonna reverse it now. We're gonna go backwards. What we're gonna do is start by bringing this leg back, flexing the hamstrings, flexing the glutes, feel the stretch right here in the front. We're gonna lift that leg up to the side so we get that horizontal thing. And we're going to rotate the ankle up, and we're going to rotate the ankle down. That was the mistake I made in the beginning. I thought we were doing this for a second. Rotate the ankle up, rotate the ankle down, bring the knee forward. We're only doing one of those rotations. I was just emphasizing that I made a mistake by repeating things. That probably makes it even more confusing, and it makes it sound like I'm making even more mistakes, and just digging myself into a deeper hole that I don't even need to dig. All right, let's go. We're doing 10 of those. Back, side, ankle up, ankle down, knee. That's one. Back, side, ankle up, ankle down, knee. That's two. Back, side, ankle up, ankle down, knee. That's three. What's funny about these is once you start doing them, your brain just kind of turns off a little bit because you're used to it. You won't want that. What your body is used to is not necessarily your best. All right. Oh, so when you can, especially if you're a regular, focus on contracting that glute a little bit more when you bring the leg back. Lift, work those hip muscles right here when you lift the leg to the side. Rotate, bring that knee in. Rotate, lift, bring that knee up. And I think that's seven. Maybe. I kind of lost track because I got so focused on that. Trying to use your muscles more thing. Eight. Back. Side. Ankle up. Ankle down. Knee. That's nine. Last one. Back. Side. Ankle up. Ankle down. Knee. That's 10. That is one set of reverse hip curls. Shake it out, do a little dance, wiggle those hips, and let's get ready to do the other side. Oh, let's go. Stand nice and straight. Keep that core nice and tight. Find your balance point. Hold on to something if you can't, and let's go back. Side. Ankle up. Oof. Ankle down. Knee. That's one. Nine more. Back. Side. Ankle up. Ankle down. Knee. That's two. Back. Side. Ankle up. Ankle down, knee, that's three. You'll find as you do more of these that you have one leg that is much better at balance than the other. You'll have some information about which leg is able to rotate more than the other, like this. I think this is four. Back, side, ankle up, ankle down, knee, that's five. Keep going. Back, side, ankle up, ankle down, knee, that's six. Back, side, ankle up, ankle down, knee, that's seven. Three more. Back, side, ankle up, ankle down, knee, that's eight. Two more. Back, side, ankle up, ankle down, knee. Last one. All right. We're going to focus on really using those glute muscles, those hamstring muscles. We're going to lift that leg back. We're going to lift our leg to the side, work these muscles in the hip. We're going to rotate, feel that hamstring almost cramping up. Bring the knee up, ankle down, and finish by bringing the knee forward. Boom! That is all of our hip curls. That is warm-up exercise number one. Take a second, breathe, chill, flap around, pull that hip mobility you just worked on to work, do a little dance, and we're going to move on into our second warm-up exercise. If you're just joining in for the first time, we're doing 45 to 60 minutes of live side split stretching and hip mobility work. We do this every single day to practice consistency, to build a little bit of community, to make the stretches we're about to suffer through a little bit more fun, a little bit more entertaining, so that we can make it a little bit easier to practice consistency. All right. If you like side splits, if you need hip mobility, if you want a little help practicing consistency, make sure to follow and subscribe. And hopefully you're free at 9 p.m. because that's the regular time. We're live Monday through Sunday at 9 p.m. Eastern. All right. Let's keep going. Second warm-up exercise is the elephant walk. What it looks like is this. We're folded forward, bringing our belly button down to the ground, and we are trying our best to chill right here. Take some breaths in and out, relax. And chill. From here, we're going to add a little bit of movement. We're going to bend one knee. We're going to straighten the other leg. We're going to fold our belly button down to the ground, right? It's absolutely okay If you're a little bit higher off the ground, that's fine. Don't worry about it. We just want to feel that stretch building in the hamstrings. All right. As you continue, I want you to switch the side that the leg is bent on. All right. And go 2, 3. This isn't so much about a precise number anymore. I'm just gonna talk at you until I feel like it's time for us to move on to a different stretch. All right. When you're doing this, you should feel a slightly different stretch in each hamstring. The one that's bent might feel it a little differently than the one that is straight, and that is okay. That is normal because you're putting a different type of pressure. You might also feel some tingliness up here in your butt, and that is probably because your hamstrings, the tendons that connect your hamstrings to the body, connect just here below and under the knee and into your pelvis. When you're folded forward like this, your pelvis, the bottom of your pelvis, is basically where your butt is. So it's highly likely that is some of the tingliness that you're feeling. All right. We've done this for quite a bit. At this point, you should be a little bit looser. If you can, try to fold your belly button down towards the ground a little deeper. And we're continuing with 5 more. All right. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. That is it. Pop into a little bit of squat. Come on up into standing. That is our elephant walk. That's warm up exercise number 2. We're going to move on into number 3 is some thoracic rotation. We're doing a little bit of this motion, nice and slow and controlled, not whipping it across. That might make you a little bit uncomfortable, so don't go whipping it. All right. We're going to get back into the position we were just in, where one leg is bent, one leg is straight, and we're folding our belly button down towards the ground. All right. Once you are here, we're going to take the arm from the bent leg side. We're going to reach across to the straight leg. We're going to push slightly off of that straight leg to open up our bodies. Boom. Try to point your hand up into the air. Rotate your neck to look at that hand. Then I want you to breathe. On the inhale and exhale. On the exhale, I want you to try to reach a little further over your shoulder. All right. One more. Inhale. Exhale. That is our first rep. Other side. Bent leg, straight leg. Bent arm, straight leg. Reach. Inhale. Exhale. Reach some more. Inhale. Exhale. Reach some more. That is 1 rep. We're doing 5 of these in total, especially if it's the first thing you're doing all day because it's early in the morning. Take your time. Breathe. Chill. Take some extra breaths. Take it as slow as you need to. All right. That's 1. We're doing 5 more. Let's go. Bent leg, straight leg. Bent arm, straight leg. Reach. Inhale. Exhale and reach some more. That's 2. Other side. That's 2. If you want to clean up your exhaling technique, I recommend you purse your lips a little bit so you're sending little stream like you're blowing out a candle. Um, it'll just feel more consistent than all right. Bent leg, straight leg, bent arm, straight leg. Open. 3. Other side. 3. Keep going. 4. And 4. We got one last one left. We're going to do it from the top, explaining it from the beginning. This leg is bent. This leg is straight. This belly button is coming down. We're taking the hand from the bent leg side. We're reaching across the body to the straight leg. We're pushing off that shin bone. We are reaching and rotating the other hand up into the air. We're rotating the neck to look at that hand. And we're going to inhale, exhale. On the exhale, we're going to try and reach a little further behind us. All right? Let's go. Last rep. Inhale, exhale. Reach. Whew. That's 5. Other side. And 5. Whew. That is our third warm-up exercise. Hopefully, your spine is feeling a little bit looser. Maybe you're feeling some new sensations that you haven't felt before. If this is one of your first times on the live. Maybe your shoulders are feeling a little tired because you don't ever have to reach that far behind you in your regular life. Don't worry about that because we don't have anything else to do with the shoulders. All right? We're going to move on into our 4th and final warm-up exercise. This is the hardest one, probably. And I'm going to demonstrate. Then we're going to do a pre-warm-up for the warm-up, all right? So you don't have to do this right now. I'm just going to show you real quick. We're going to drop into a bit of a squat on one side and a split, basically, on the other side, all right? We're going to try and drop as low as we can. And then from here, we're going to swap to the other side. And then we're going to pause here for a second, and we're going to come back. That is one rep. The coming down, you just have to do once, right? Because you have to get your butt to the ground. And then the rest of the reps are from side to side. Most of us, our ankles, knees, and hips are not going to be ready for that right away. What I want you to do is slowly come on down into a squat real quick. And I want you to just kind of hang out nice and low for a second. Try to bring your chest down to your knees. Feel a little bit of a stretch in your Achilles tendon. Your heel is probably off the ground. And if you can hang out with your heels on the ground, just come off the ground slightly anyway so you can get that nice Achilles tendon and calf stretch. All right? Chill here for a little bit. Breathe. And if you're ready for a little bit more, we're going to add a little tiny bit of gentle movement. All right? If this is uncomfortable, if this is painful, definitely don't continue. But if you are otherwise having fun, enjoy it. All right? We're going to push one knee down a little bit. We're going to push the other knee down a little bit and rotate. We can focus on being super straight up and down and look like this. The ankles kick in. Or we can add a little bit of rotation so that you're using the hip to pull this whole thing back behind you and switching from side to side. All right, so it doesn't have to be so. Now we're gonna add a little bit of pushing that knee out, and bring them back in, bring them out by themselves all at the same time. Do some cool dance moves, and hopefully your ankles, your knees, your hips are feeling a little bit more tired, but also enjoying the fact that they're getting used. All right, we're going to move on into our Cossack switch. What we just did has probably very little relevance to the Cossack switch other than the ankles. We need those ankles nice and warmed up so that we can get low into our Cossack switch. All right, the rest of it was just for funsies, and it's always cool to see what you're capable of. All right, next, we're getting down into our squatting side split position, our setup. This leg is in a deep squat. This leg is doing a side split. If you want, you can start here with your deep squat. Put your hands down, give yourself support, extend one leg out, and boom, you are here. All right. If you otherwise can just get into this, you don't have to do the long setup. From here, you can be as high up as you want. All right. If you're new to the show, start a little higher. It's going to make it easier for you to figure out the flow of things, and then you can drop down as you get more comfortable. If you're a regular, if you've been doing this for a while, feel free to drop a little bit deeper, a little bit deeper, a little bit deeper, and get low. All right. Our next step is the same for everybody. We're moving our butts over that away. You can use your hands to support you. Do a little waddle over, and come on over to the other side. Okay. If you're a little bit higher up, it might look like boom. Is this good? What about on YouTube? YouTube just connected for me. I switched over to the other. Okay. Oh, okay. 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 Hype SX says, "Yo, hello." I don't know if you just popped in. Yep. I was just changing the Wi-Fi over. How we doing? Are we better? Have we returned? Oh, a whole bunch of information just popped up into the live chat. So seems like I'm getting internet again, and a whole bunch of people have dropped off. Okay. Cool. Let's continue. I don't remember where we got to. We're doing Cossack switches. If you are finding the hip stuff a little bit difficult, we can, and it's painful for your knees on the inside because this transition from side to side is kind of a pain in the butt for you, or I guess pain in the knee for you. You can come up a little bit, come across, and come on down, and up, across, and down, and up, across, and down. All right, once you've done a couple of those, I'll just pretend we're at 7. We got 3 more. We're going to wrap this up real soon. We're going to do a couple of squats. All right. I want you to push off of this bent leg, this power leg. Boom. Come up into standing, and then slowly come back down on the other side. Whew. And then all the way up. Whew. That's 8. One more. Come on down. That's 9. Up and down. And for the last rep, you can do whatever you like. All right. If at any point some of these are a little too hard, you're feeling a little bit funky, something feels uncomfortable, feel free to skip that part of the show. Do whatever it is that you like. All right. When I say do whatever it is that you like, one of the previous versions of the stretch or the exercise. All right. That is 10 Cossack switches. We are done with the warm up portion of our show. It's time for some stretches. If you don't know, because you're just popping in, or you, I don't know, I guess, haven't heard this explanation, we're doing 45 to 60 minutes of live side split stretching and hip mobility work. We do this every single day to practice consistency, to build a little bit of community, and to make sure that it's a little bit easier for us to practice that consistency because the show is a little bit more entertaining. Okay, let's do this. If you haven't already, follow, hit subscribe, and also go grab a sip of water and some cushioning for your knee. We're going to jump into some hamstring stretches. Let's do this. Do I have a drink? I do have a drink. Coffee. Okay. The first stretch that we're going to do is a hamstring stretch. I want you to drop down to your knees real quick. I want you to almost flex your glutes like you're about to get spanked. I want you to contract your abs like you're bracing for a punch. I want you to get real strong in your posture around like this Superman pose for just a second. Get your abs, your glutes working. And then later, when you're not doing those things, you can go, oh, hey, remember when I flexed my butt and I flexed my abs and got myself real straight and strong? If there's a point where we need it, I'll call it out. But in general, this is a good reminder of what not sort of leaned over posture could look like. Most of us, all day, when we're slouching in our chairs, have a little tiny bit of a lean, or just we favor one arm when we have armrest. When we're driving in the car, we have one shoulder that kind of comes up and the other doesn't. All that stuff just makes you a little bit less even. All right. And sometimes you just need a good old clenching your butt, clenching your abs to help straighten you out a little bit at least, and that might help. Cool. So, random, not important tool for the live aside, let's get into some stretches. We're doing a hamstring stretch. We're going to stick one leg out directly in front. And if you find you're off balance, you can widen that stance a little bit. All right. We're going to fold the belly buttons down into the ground. Ugh. That is the stretch. Woo. If you are able to balance, you can bring a leg in a little straighter, a little closer to you. And this is our stretch. I have woken up and my right hamstring is feeling a little bit tender, so I'm not going to go nearly as deep on these stretches as I usually do, just because I don't want it to turn into anything more than just being a little bit tender. All right. If you are at home and go, today's not a 100% day, which is completely normal, please give what you got and nothing more. Cool. All right, we're going with this. I'm going to spin around so you cannot stare at the top of my head for the whole entire stretch. You can see something going on. When you come forward, at some point your hamstrings are going to go, ugh, they're going to get a little tight. And all I want you to do is chill and breathe. All right? Inhale. Exhale. Try to relax a little bit and hang out. Drape your body over that leg. One more. Inhale. Exhale. Drape your body over that leg. From here, we're going to add a little bit of movement. All right? I want you to bend the knee just a little bit. And I want to see if you can bring your chest down towards that leg. If you can't reach, bend the knee a little bit more. See if you can bring the chest down. If you can get to a point where your chest comes down to the knee, great. You can pause there and you can slowly straighten out that leg again and try to keep your chest low and hold that position for a little bit. Keep going back and forth from bent to straight. We're adding just a little bit of movement to wake up those hamstrings, to teach our body how we want it to fold when we're in the hamstring stretch, when that leg is extended totally straight, because we're showing it what we want when we're keeping that leg bent. All right. Once you've done a couple of those, 5 is plenty. We're going to move on. We're going to add some depth. All right. What we're going to do is take a big breath in, inhale. And we're going to slowly exhale. And as we exhale, I want you to try and focus on bringing your belly button down to the ground a little bit more. All right. Inhale. Exhale and fold. Whew. Once You fold it forward a little bit more. You're feeling that stretch build in intensity in your hamstrings. We're going to inhale, exhale, relax. All right, inhale, exhale, and relax. Your body drape over that leg. One more. Inhale, exhale, relax. That body drape over that leg. Then we're going to add a little bit more movement once again. All right, knee bend, bring the chest down, straighten it back out. Nice and slow. Does not have to be explosive, does not have to be fast, does not have to be intense even. And once you've done a couple of those, you feel like your hamstrings are a little less screaming at you in that position that we were in. We're gonna fold a little bit more. All right, one more inhale, exhale, fold. Inhale, exhale, and fold. Focus on bringing that belly button down towards the ground, down, 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 down. Ooh, hoo, hoo. Right now, if you're feeling a whole bunch of tension in your neck, in your upper back, in your mid back, even just above your low back, you're working too hard. All right. This is not about turning yourself into a ball, trying to smash your face into your knee. This is about folding at the hips and bring the belly button down towards the ground, or at least belly button down to the thigh. All right. Once you're here, we're ready to count down. 30 seconds. 29, 28, 27. 26. If the stretches feel real intense, you can go back to a little bit of that knee bending and straightening. You can also give yourself a very slight knee bend. It'll take some pressure off of the knees. You're going to also stab your fingers into your hamstrings, give them a light massage, just poke and prod. That will distract you from how intense the stretch feels. And hopefully, we're a lot closer to the end of the stretch. 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. That is our hamstring stretch. All right. Come on back. Flex the glutes. Keep that core nice and tight. Come on back into a nice straight posture. Pose, Superman pose for a second. And then let's get ready to get into the other hamstring stretch. Extend the leg out in front of you. Widen that stance for balance if you need it. If you don't need it, bring that leg back in front of you. Bring that belly button down to the thigh. Whee! Soon as it gets tight, soon as it gets stuck, pause, breathe, relax. All right, inhale, relax. Inhale, relax. And we're gonna add a little bit of that movement. All right, knee bend. Start with a little bit of knee bend. See if you can bring your chest down. Bend some more. Bring your chest down. Bring your knee up, chest down to match. And when you have reached, it's time to go back. Straighten it back out. Whew. Keep on trying to keep your chest low to the ground when you're straightening it back out. And take it nice and gentle. Doesn't have to be fast, doesn't have to be explosive. We've done like 5-ish now. So let's continue. Inhale, exhale, fold. Inhale, exhale, and fold. Bring that belly button down, 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 down. Fold. That is our stretch. Should be feeling in your hamstrings. You might feel some pressure in the knee. If you give yourself a slight knee bend, that pressure in the knee will go away, and you'll still be in a deep hamstring stretch. All right. From here, you want to add a little bit more movement. Knee bend, straighten, knee bend, straighten, knee bend, straighten, knee bend, straighten, and one more inhale, exhale, relax, relax. Inhale, exhale, relax. All right. We're gonna do now the inhale, exhale, fold. We're gonna take it down one more level, and then we'll be doing a 30-second countdown. All right, let's go. Inhale, big inhale. Exhale and fold. Down, 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 down. Woo. Now that we are low, it's time to add a little bit more movement. Knee bend, straighten, knee bend, straighten, knee bend, straighten, knee bend, straighten. 30 seconds. Let's do it. 29, 28, 27, 26, 25, 24, 23, 22, 21. If your legs are feeling uncomfortable, if your hips are feeling uncomfortable, you can do more leg bend. You can keep that knee slightly bent the whole time if you'd like. That is okay. The hamstring stretch is still there. It's going to be slightly reduced, but If you're feeling the stretch in your hamstrings, that's all that matters. All right? 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5. Keep breathing. Don't hold your breath. 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. That is our hamstring stretch. Bring your heels in. Come on back out of whatever position you have gotten yourself into. And we're going to move on into stretch number 2, the butterfly stretch. All right. What I want you to do is rest your butt up against the wall, like so. Bring your feet together. Pull your feet in towards your groin. And right now, your back, your shoulders, your head should be able to rest against the wall. That's what we want. Okay. From here, we're going to get into a groin stretch. That's what the butterfly stretch is. It stretches out the muscles here in the inner thighs. All right. And what I want you to focus on is using your own muscles to do a lot of the work. I want you to use your glutes. I want you to use your outer thighs. I want you to use them to pull your legs down towards the ground. All right. If you're new to the show and you're like, what muscles? What the heck are you talking about? I've never used those to do that before. Don't worry. Just focus on 2 things. 1, the stretch in your groin area right here is feeling more intense. Great. 2, your knees have gone down a little closer to the ground. If you got both those points, you're doing great. You don't have to worry about any of the details. All right. But for everybody else, contract those glutes, contract those outer thigh muscles, pull your legs a little bit further open, and we're ready to move on. Next, we're going to take our hands, we're going to apply a little bit of pressure just inside of the knees. All right. We're pushing the legs straight down into the ground. You don't have to go crazy with the pressure. We're just adding a little bit, and you can amp up that pressure as you get comfortable. All right. We're going to breathe and chill for 30 seconds. On the exhale, we're going to apply a little bit more pressure until it gets a little uncomfortable, and then you can stop. Cool. 30 seconds. Let's go. 29, 28. While you're pushing, you might be feeling some pressure in the back of your head because your shoulders and your head are pushing against the wall. That's normal. 25, 24, 23, 22, 21, 20, 19. If you are still flexing your glutes and you're flexing your outer thigh muscles, you can let those go. You can chill for a little bit and keep pushing. 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4. Keep breathing. Keep pushing those legs down if you can. 2, 1, 0. That is our stretch. Whew, we're done with stretch number 2. Before we get up out of this, I want you to do a little bit of flapping of your wings. Remember, this is a butterfly stretch. I want you to flap your legs like your butterfly. I want you to go up and down a little bit. All right. If your legs are really not moving quite well, you're going, oh, feel free to grab your legs to give them a little shake. All right. Hey, hey, wake up. We got stuff to do. Other side. Hey, hey, wake up. We got stuff to do. That little shake should help wake up your muscles and help you flap a little bit more smoothly. All right. Now that you're flapping, we're ready to move on into the third stretch. We're going to get into some standing technique. All right. I said this before, but if you weren't here, I'm taking a lot of these stretches a little bit more gently because my right hamstring is feeling a little tender, and I don't want it to be anything more than just a little bit tender. So I'm going to dial back the intensity for me. That does not mean that you have to do exactly what I do. As always, give what you got and nothing more. All right, let's go. The standing pancake. Open up your legs decently wide. If you can get to 60-ish degrees, awesome. If you can get a little deeper, amazing. At some point, you will probably feel a pinching sensation in your hips as your thigh bone, a lumpy part of your thigh bone, smashes into another lumpy part of your hip bone. And if you are there, if you're feeling that uncomfortable smashing of your bones, you can bring your legs in a little closer together. All right? When your feet are closer together and your hips can move a little bit more gracefully, we're ready to fold. Bring that belly button down to the ground. Fold, 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 fold. Wee! Ugh. As soon as you get stuck folding forward and you're like, I don't want to go any further, our starting position. Cool? From here, from the side, actually, it's going to look a little like this. Some of you might find you're a little bit higher up. That's totally okay. The goal of the pancake is to fold our upper body, this whole thing, in between our legs. And is really hard. So we're going to get gravity to do as much work as possible. And in this case, it looks like this. If you just breathe, relax, and try to bring your belly button down towards the ground, and that will be enough to get us started. If you want to make this more intense, you can extend your arms so that your biceps are by your ears. And next time you inhale, exhale, try to relax deeper into the stretch. That will pull you a little bit deeper. If you're looking for more, you can hold on to something, extend it past your head, and that'll be crazy. So you can go try that too. All right. That is the gist of it. We're folding our belly buttons down towards the ground. We're trying to keep a relatively straight back. We're trying not to turn into a ball. All right. If it's, a little bit bent, it's fine. It's not a big deal. Cool. All right. Let's go. Get into position. Open up your legs wider if you want to. No pressure. You don't have to. 30 seconds. Let's do it. 29. 28, 27. Remember to breathe. That breathing is what's going to help you get a little bit deeper. If you're not breathing, the tension in your body is going to just keep on building up and you're going to get tighter and tighter, and there's going to be no folding happening at all. All right, 25, 24, 23. Focus on bringing that belly button down towards the ground. 22, 21, 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. That is our standing pancake. All right. If you went real hard and your legs are feeling real tense right now, you might want to wiggle your toes and your heels in towards the center of your body to bring your legs together. It looks like this: toes, heels, toes, heels, toes, heels, toes, heels, toes, heels. Whew. Once your legs are underneath you, you can slowly push off of them to come on up out of that stretch. Ooh, and that is our standing pancake. Stretch number 3. We're going to move on into stretch number 4. What are we doing? We are doing either the pigeon or the figure 4 stretch. All right. Both of them have the same fundamentals. If you're a regular on the show, you know which one you prefer. Or if you just know both stretches and you have one that you prefer, feel free to do that one. I am going to teach you one, break it down into a couple of pieces, give some tips. And today it's going to be the pigeon because I did 2 rounds of figure 4 yesterday. All right. For the pigeon and the figure 4, the fundamentals are the same. We're taking one leg, we're crossing it over to the other side, making this thing that kind of looks vaguely like the number 4, right? And we're going to grab that ankle, we're going to bring it up to our belly button. And then we're going to bring the belly button down to that ankle, all right? From the side, it's going to look a little like this. We're folding our chest down to the leg. But the figure 4 has us laying on our back, and the pigeon has us trying to bring our face into the ground, all right? So once again, that leg is across the body, and we're trying to bring our belly button down towards that leg. Boom. This is the pigeon stretch. Notice this leg over here can basically do anything it wants. All right. If you want to just have it off to the side, you got enough hip flexibility to just let it hang out over there. Great. If you want to keep it bent off to the side and it is comfortable for you to fold forward, great. There's more advanced versions of the pigeon where you get a double whammy on that stretch, where you basically extend this leg back behind you. All right. For some of us, our hips are not going to be quite ready for that. This is quite a bit of stretch. And if you're feeling quite a bit of a stretch, you're probably feeling it in the knee too, because that is where you're making contact with the ground first, typically. If this is a very uncomfortable position for you, you got 2 tips. The first one is lean forward. The flatter down on the ground you are, the less pressure there is on this hip to be in this crazy bent position. There's going to be less pressure on the knee. Tip number 2 is elevate the front leg. All right. If you elevate that front leg, your hips are magically going to also come off the ground unless you're insanely flexible. And when you have more space underneath you, the leg can go behind you without being in as crazy an angle. And you can, of course, lean forward again to help make that a little bit easier on yourself. All right. You can also, when you're off the ground, use your toes to support you a little bit better. And then your knees not holding on to any pressure. Your toes are. Cool? I almost slipped off of my stool. That is our 2 tips for the pigeon. Get into whatever version you'd like. This stool doesn't have to be a stool. It could be a couch. It could be a coffee table. As long as the coffee table is relatively stable, you could be doing this onto your bed with the other leg on the floor. All right. As long as it's stable, as long as you got good amount of control, you're ready to go. We're taking that leg, we're bringing it across the body. I want you to imagine the midpoint, middle line of your body. So between your eyes down to your belly button, folding forward, and you're hitting roughly the midpoint between your knee and your ankle. All right. So it looks a little like this. That's it. That's the whole stretch. All right. Let's go. Leg across, other leg behind if you'd like, off to the side if you don't, and we're folding that midline down to that midpoint between the knee and the ankle. We're bringing the hips down first, and then we're folding. All right. We're not bowing. We're not putting our heads down on the floor and lifting our hips. From here, inhale, exhale, relax. Sink a little bit deeper into your stretch. One more, inhale, exhale. Let out all the tension in your lungs. Sink a little bit deeper into your stretch. Remember, you're supposed to feel it in the side of your hip, in that glute muscle. And for the rest of the stretch, I just want you to turn into jello. I want you to deflate that balloon and just flop around on the floor a little bit. All right, 30 seconds. Let's go. Inhale, exhale. 28, 27, 26, 25, 24, 23, 22. You might be feeling a whole bunch of tension in your back muscles that are supporting you. See if you can relax them a little bit. You might be feeling a whole bunch of tension in your abs. See if you can relax them a little bit. 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. That is our pigeon stretch. I spent way more time explaining it than actually doing it. I know. Next, we're going to do the other side. Leg is coming across the body. The other leg is doing whatever it wants, bent, straight, straight behind. And we are trying to get the midpoint down to that midpoint between the knee and the ankle. All right. We covered all the basics before, so let's just get into this leg. Fold forward. Keep your hips low. Bring your chest down afterwards. Inhale, exhale. Relax. Try and drop into that stretch. Inhale. Exhale. Relax and drop into that stretch. Turn into jello. Let gravity take you into the floor. 30 seconds. Let's go. 29, 28, 27, 26, 25, 24. If suddenly the stretch feels like it's magically easy, check your foot. If your foot just slid a little closer to your groin, away from your face, that probably is what happened to make the stretch a little bit easier. You don't have to push it back. You can just let it chill for today. But if you want to, you can try and push your foot a little closer to your face. If you move like a centimeter, your hamstring stretch will get a lot crazier and it will feel insane. So you don't have to go very far. Little tiny wiggle makes a huge difference. 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Whew, that is our pigeon stretch. Put your hands down in front of you. Slowly bring yourself out of that stretch however you want. Don't have to do it the way I did, doing like a little push up and then dragging the leg out. That is our fourth and not yet final stretch. We're doing a fifth stretch. We're doing some side splits. All right. If you've never done a side split before, don't worry. We're going to break it down into lots of little steps. But there's one thing I want you to go find. I recommend you have something to support your hands. I recommend a little folding stool because it is much more likely you'll have some household stuff than not have household stuff. If you have a stool, go ahead and grab it. If you have some yoga blocks, feel free to use those. If you have a couple of old textbooks that you probably should have sold when they were still worth something, you might be able to use those, but be careful because if they slide around a little bit too much, it can be a pain in the butt. Okay? When you've grabbed something, we're ready to get started. And I realized that I haven't said this in a little bit, but we're doing 45 to 60 minutes of live side split stretching and hip mobility work. We do this every single day to practice consistency, to build a little bit of community, to make the suffering that we put ourselves through a little bit more entertaining, a little bit more fun, so that we can be more consistent with it. All right. So if you like hip mobility, side splits, consistency, this is the place to be. We're live every day, Monday through Sunday at 9 p.m. Eastern. It's currently not 9 p.m. Eastern. It is 9 a.m. Eastern. As because on the weekends, Saturday and Sunday morning, we have bonus lives at 9 a.m. So you can start your day with some side splits instead of just ending your day with side splits. So if you can only do the 9 a.m. time, come back for next weekend. But if you otherwise want to try the 9 p.m. time, end in your day with some side splits, that is our normal scheduled live. All right? Side splits, let's do it. Hit follow, hit subscribe. Side splits, let's do it. Bring your legs together, bring your butt up against a wall. All right? We want a little bit of support right away. I want you to take a half step, maybe one step in front of the wall. So you're still really close, and that your butt can rest against it. Nice and easy. All right? From here, we're going to open up our legs decently wide. Doesn't have to be crazy. What I want you to focus on is making sure there's no pain here in the hips. If you're feeling it right here, you've gone too far. Bring your legs back in together a little bit. And if you can do a little hip wiggle without discomfort, we're ready to continue. If you find that you can go really deep already without discomfort, then you're probably in a really good genetic situation, and that's awesome. All right, we're going to fold forward. Let's go. Fold, 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 fold. Wee. Ugh. Here we go. This is our starting position. If you can reach the ground, put your hands down. If you cannot reach, or you just don't plain want to, because it's a pain in your butt, fine. Elevate your hands with a stool, with some yoga blocks, with something to give you a little bit of support. Okay? When you're here, I want you to pull that stool a little closer towards you, and I want you to lean your butt against the wall, and I want you to see if you can drop a little bit deeper into this wide leg side split looking position. All right? If you can, take it. Next, we're going to rotate our hips. Sorry, we're going to rotate our legs so that our thigh bones don't smash into our hips. All right? And this is basically just making sure we don't get into that situation where you're feeling hip discomfort like we were when we were standing. All right. What we're going to do is go from this situation where your knees are pointing forward, your feet are flat on the ground. We're going to go boom, heels down, toes up, knees up. Other side, boom, heels down, toes up, knees up. When you are here, you're in your side split position. All right. Use your hand support, whatever that is, and slowly see if you can come down a little bit deeper. Inhale. Exhale and relax. See if you sink a little bit deeper. One more inhale. Exhale. Sink a little bit deeper. Do a little wiggle to the right, little wiggle to the left, little wiggle to the right, little wiggle to the left. See if you can push your legs out a little further. If you have not moved in a while and you're like, nope, this is not going well for me, that is absolutely okay. All right. You don't have to push yourself deeper. If today is not a push and deep day, that's fine. You can try again another day. All right. Let's go. Once you are here in this position, I want you to double check a couple of things. One, your butt is resting against the wall. Your hands are right in front of your hips. Maybe your arms are touching your hips. And if you're using hand support, you have your support basically right in front of you. Maybe the stool is touching your hips. Okay? I want you to feel stable. I want you to feel supported. I want you to feel like you are in control. Because when you're not in control, when you're like, oh, I'm slipping, I'm falling, what's going on? That is going to force your whole body to tense up to keep you in a kind of relatively controlled position. That tension is not going to help you get into side splits. All right? That tension is fighting you from getting into the side splits. So we want to feel safe. We want to feel control. Next, we're going to slowly let our butt drift downwards. And at some point, it might not make sense for you to be using the stool anymore. You got to be on your fingertips. That's fine. Keep on coming down if you can. If you're completely stuck already, feel free to stay there for a little bit longer. Once you've come as low as you can, we're ready to begin. All right. I want you to check one last thing. Your butt is up against the wall. Your knees are pointing up. Your spine is mostly upright. The top of your head is pointing up into the ceiling. If that's the case, we're ready to count down 30, 29, 28, 27, 26, 25, 24, 23, 22, 21, 20. If you feel like you can get a little tiny deeper, feel free to do a little wiggle to the left or right. 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. That is our entire stretch. Oh, walk your hands forward. Grunt, groan, pull your knees in slowly underneath you, and breathe. That is side split number one. We're gonna do 3 rounds of this, and we finished the first one, so we're 33% of the way. We're going to slowly come up. We're going to grunt. We're going to groan. We're going to make as many sound effects as we need to. We're going to waddle around like a drunk penguin for a second. I'm going to shake out our muscles. We're going to shake out our legs, help them relax so that we can get into a deeper second side split. All right. Slowly come on back up into standing. Do a little shake, do a little wiggle, flop around because your legs are not working. And let's get ready to shake out our ankles. All right. What I want you to do is very slowly let the ankles flop and shake and pick up the intensity if you find it comfortable. All right. If anything hurts, feel free to reduce the intensity, shake a little less hard. But if it's feeling all right, you're feeling okay, pick up the intensity and keep going. Shake, 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 shake. Try to focus on getting it into a big, wide range of motion. And the reason why we're doing this is because if you flex your foot, if you point your toe, if you do some very intentional ankle circles, all these muscles in your feet, in your ankles, in your calves have to get you there, right? So if you're flexing your foot, then the calf muscles, the stuff in the back, have to be relaxed. If you're pointing your toe, then the muscles here in the front have to be relaxed. If you are just letting your leg flop and go all to these crazy places at as fast as you can, those muscles have to be relaxed enough to let you get there, right? And that's what we want, relaxation. Cool. Next, other side. Are your weight is one leg? Ankle is starting to shake out. Start gentle. Pick up the intensity as you go. Flop around. Go over all these crazy places. You don't have to be 0 to 100. You can go 0, 10, 20, 30, 40. You can go up nice and slow. All right. If your ankles, your knees, if something's shaking, is starting to bother you, feel free to dial back the intensity. Feel free to drop the leg and focus on just the ankle. When you lift it up like this and you start shaking, you might feel a little bit of pressure in the knees. Other joints might start shaking, and that might be uncomfortable. Right. So try to isolate to the lower legs if something is feeling a little bit uncomfortable higher up. Cool. All right. We've been shaking for a long time. I think it should be time to run a little test. Put your feet down, do a little dance, do a little wiggle. If your legs are feeling a lot better than when we got out of the side splits, they've done their job. We're gonna move on into some hip cars. No, we're not. What are we talking about? We're gonna move on into some hip stuff. All of our weight is in one leg. Big toe of the other leg is down on the ground. We're gonna open up our hip so that this knee is pointing way out that way. And we're going to rotate that leg in. Boom. So that's making like a 45-degree out to the front. All right. We're going to keep on going back and forth. Open, close, in, out until we start feeling a little bit more chill. We should be using some muscles here and here in your hips. And that is the only thing that's moving. All right. The rest of the body is hanging out, chilling. It's just this thigh bone where it connects at the hips that is doing all of the movement. Boom, 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 boom. Other side. All your weight is one leg. Big toe is down. We're rotating the knee in, rotating the knee out, rotating the knee in, rotating the knee out. Take your time with this. Doesn't have to be fast. Doesn't have to be explosive. First, we want some control. Once you've developed control, you can pick up the speed, you can pick up the tempo, you can shake it out, you can relax, you can flop around, and it can just be a cool little dance move that you do. All right. At the end of the day, we do want it to be relaxing and chill, but it takes a little bit of skill to build up some strength and control here before you get into a fast, loose, relaxed shake. All right. If you're a regular and you can already do the relaxed shake, feel free to jump right into the relaxing, have your thighs flopping and going everywhere. That's fine. But if you're new to the show, focus on the basics. We're doing the in, out. If you pick up your pace and you pick up the intensity, you'll still get that floppy leg shake thing going on anyway. All right, let's go. We're gonna move on into side split number two. Hopefully, your legs are super relaxed and floppy and loose because that would be really helpful. Next, butt up against the wall. Take half a step, one step in front. Open up those legs nice and wide. Breathe. See if your hips are comfortable or not. If they're feeling tense right here, bring your legs back together. If you're able to move a little bit without pain, we're ready to fold. Fold this belly button down to the ground. Whee! Ugh. As soon as you get stuck, see if you can put your hands down on the ground. If you can, great. If you cannot, or you just don't want to because it's a pain in the butt, feel free to elevate your hands. I have a little folding stool. It was 12 bucks on Amazon years and years and years ago. I have no idea what it costs now because inflation, but you don't need anything fancy. All right, a couple of yoga blocks will do. A couple of old textbooks you should have sold years and years ago and now are worthless. Perfect. All right. Just make sure it's relatively lightweight, it's stable and sturdy, and we're ready to continue. All right. From here, with your hands on your support, I want you to try your best to widen your legs a little bit. When we're folded forward, it's going to help the thigh bone not to smash into the hip bones. But we're going to take it to the next level. We're going to make sure they definitely don't by rotating our legs. Right. Currently, your feet are flat on the ground. We're going to rotate the whole leg backwards so that the heel is down, the toes are up, and the knees are up. We're going to do the same on the other side. Boom. Heels down, toes up, knees up. And from here, we're going to breathe. Inhale, exhale. Sink a little bit deeper into your stretch. One more. Inhale, exhale. Sink a little bit deeper into your stretch. If you're not moving very much, that's absolutely a-okay. All right. From here, if you're ready, we're gonna add a little lean to the left, the lean to the right. Push your legs out just a tiny bit further. And we're gonna make sure that our butts are resting on the wall so that you're sliding down the wall when you do get deeper. All right. Put your hands basically at the edge of your hips if you can, and try and get this stool, your hand support, whatever it is, basically right underneath you. All right. We don't want to be leaning really far forward. We want to be basically straight up and down as much as possible. All right. Next, keep on sinking. Lean a little to the left, lean a little to the right. Try to push your legs out a little bit further. Inhale. Exhale, relax. If your knees are pointing up and the top of your head is pointing up, you're still holding the side split, which means you can try to relax some muscles in your toes, right? I was talking about flexing your feet, so your feet are pointing up, your toes are pointing up. You don't have to use muscles to do that anymore. You can just let them relax. Wiggle your toes, wiggle your feet, wiggle your calves, wiggle your hamstrings, glutes, relax, relax, relax. Inhale. Sink a little bit deeper if you can. All right. Next, if you don't need the stool, feel free to get rid of it. If you are ready, we're going to introduce a slightly different version 2 of that side split stretch we're in. What I want you to do, instead of chilling in this position with your back upright, I want you to walk your hands forward a tiny little bit, all right? So that it looks like you're doing a push up. When you walk your legs, you walk your hands forward, your whole body should kind of follow you, sort of like tipping over, and your knees, instead of pointing straight up into the sky, might be pointing up at like a diagonal, 45 to 60-ish degrees. That's cool. Okay, let's go. When you're in this version of the stretch, you're going to feel it more in your inner thighs, and that is where we want that stretch. 30 seconds, 29, 28, 27, 26, 25, 24. Feel free to try and get a little bit deeper if you can. 22, 21. Again, there is no pressure. You can do nice and gentle, nice and slow. Take your time. 19, 18, 17. If this position gets a little too intense for you, you can always walk your hands back. You can rest your butt against the wall, see if that's a little bit easier. It changes the focus from the inner thighs to the hamstring, and sometimes you just need a break. And that's absolutely a-okay. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 0. That's it. Walk your hands forward. Oof. Bring your legs in. Take a nice and slow grunt, groan. Make as many sound effects as you need to. Oh, and we're done with side split number 2. Slowly come back into standing when you're ready. Shake out those ankles. Again, this is all about relaxation, all right? So if you feel like you're flexing your foot, if you're pointing your toe, you're trying to force your foot to get into all of these crazy angles, that's too much work. We're chilling. We're chilling. We're letting momentum and gravity do all the work. Flop, 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 flop. You want to be made of soggy, overcooked, wet noodles. That is what you're doing. And once you've shaken out your ankles for a little bit, we're ready to move on into the hips. As long as your, legs are kind of working. Cool? Into the hips. All your weight is in one leg. Big toe is down. We're starting with the basics. In and out and in and out and in and out. As you get more comfortable with it, you can start shaking a little bit more aggressively. You don't have to focus on that full, deep range of motion. You can kind of just go somewhere in between, and you can go shake out the leg in such a way that the thigh muscles are not actually doing anything. It's all happening in the hip, and your thighs look like they're made of jello and they're just flopping all over the place. That is a sign that those muscles are also relaxed. All right. If you put a whole bunch of weight into that leg and you have it down almost, it's gonna be much harder for that leg to wiggle because your thigh muscles are working. So really focus and put all of your weight into the standing leg. This leg is almost holding nothing. It can come up at any time. And when you start shaking it out, your whole entire leg can go all loose and fast. All right? That's what we want. Just shaking it out. Shake, 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 shake. If you're a regular on this show, feel free to skip straight to this. You don't need as much of this, but we need that foundation of knowing which muscles you're using to do the leg shake. All right. If you're not a regular and you're new to the show, build up the strength and do the leg shake. If you can go right into the leg shake, feel free to do that too. Okay. It's all about relaxation. That's all we care about. Just making sure you got making sure you have the skills to do the relaxation. Cool. All right. Hopefully your hips are relaxed because we spend a whole bunch of time doing a little leg shake. And that's a good sign. We're ready to get to side split number 3 to wrap things up. Let's go. Butt up against the wall. Stand one step in front, maybe less if you need it. Open up those legs. If your hips hurt, you've gone too far, stop. Bring your legs back together. If you can do a little wiggle, little shake, a shimmy, and there's no pain, we're ready to fold. Bring this belly button down into the ground. Whee! Put your hands down. If you can reach the floor, awesome. If you cannot, or you just don't want to because it's a pain in the butt, feel free to use some hand support. Go a little bit wider if you can. Let your butt rest against the wall. Bring that hand support in closer to your hips. And we're ready to externally rotate. All right. The heels are going to be down. Toes are up, knees are up. I probably should have said this before because this is the third and final side split, but your heels are going to be holding on to a lot of weight. And for some of us, your heels are not going to be ready for it. It's going to hurt. If you need to grab some foam, if you need to grab some padding, if you need to put on some flip flops, please feel free to do so. All right. And then we're ready to drop. Inhale. Exhale. Relax a little deeper into the stretch. Inhale. Exhale. Relax a little deeper into the stretch. Inhale. Exhale. Relax a little deeper into the stretch. I promise I don't have this much flexibility without the 3 rounds. When I say that we're shaking out the tension, we're trying to relax so we can get deeper into the next stretch, I mean it. We should be getting a little bit more chill, a little bit more relaxed. Those first 2 rounds are warm up rounds, all right? We're getting more comfortable in the stretch position each time. And you should be finding, at least for the first 3 rounds, that you can get a little bit deeper each time. If you are finding that you're getting stuck, you're not really getting any deeper, or you're not able to relax into it deeper, at least, maybe you should take the intensity down for a little bit, for a couple of days, just to give your body a little bit more time to relax and recover. Because usually you're just holding on to a bit more tension for some reason or another. And if that tension is being held because your muscles don't feel so good, they're feeling tense, they're feeling a little injured, it's a good time to dial back the intensity. All right. Anyways, now that we've dropped our butts down to the ground, we got option number 3, side split number 3. If you want, you can stay here with your back more or less upright and your legs out to the side, feeling it more in your hamstrings. You can do what we just did, where we walked our hands forward a little bit and we feel it more in our inner thighs. All right. We got a third option, which is you can sit down and do a pancake. Rest your butt, bring your legs in together if you want, see if you can fold forward. All right. If you're doing the pancake, you might need to elevate your butt so that gravity actually helps bring you down like this. If you're too low on the ground, your body is gonna just be like this, and it's not gonna go anywhere, and you're not gonna feel a stretch. It's just a waste of time. right? But if you elevate your butt, like so, you can lean much further forward because gravity is pulling down. So the same 90-degree angle has gravity pulling you down a little deeper. Cool? Usually, for at least the last week, I think I've been doing the pancake, but I have not been doing it or I'm not going to do it today because my hamstrings are a little tired. So we'll keep on doing some side splits. This is a really long time for you guys to hang out in your side splits. Now I feel bad about it. 30 seconds, let's go. 29, 28, 27, 26, 25, 24, 23, 22, 21, 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. That is our stretch. Walk your hands forward. Bring your legs in underneath you. That is side split number 3. We're done with all the hard stuff. Now we're going to come up, we're going to shake our legs, we're going to help our bodies relax so that we can go do whatever else you got to do for the rest of the day. All right? Slowly come on back into standing. Let's shake out those ankles. Since we're not jumping right into stretch number 4, you don't have to spend as much time shaking out your legs. A little bit should be enough. 5 seconds on each leg, plenty. And if you take a couple of steps, do a quick check. If your legs are feeling okay, you're ready to go. All right. Next, we're gonna do that hip stuff. All you raise one leg, big toe is down, we're rotating the out, in, out, in, out, in, out. The basics are always good. Stick with them if you'd like. If you're ready for more, extend that leg, do a little shake, do a little wiggle. There's almost no weight on this leg and come up at any time. So the thigh muscles are relaxed. And if you shake out your thighs like this, they should turn into jello and just flop everywhere. All right. Make sure all of your weight is in that standing leg, because if you have more weight in the leg that you're trying to shake, it's just not going to shake. It's not going to be able to go fast either. All right. So go fast by making sure there's almost no weight in this leg. Cool? Other side. All your weight in one leg, almost no weight in the other. Shake, 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 shake. Flop the leg, flop, 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 flop. Add in the rest of your body. Shake out the arms. They did a lot of work holding up your whole entire body weight, aside from whatever your legs weigh. Woo! And once you've shaken out your body, you're feeling a little bit more relaxed. You put that hip mobility to work. We're ready to do some joint checks. All right. Just want to make sure everything is feeling okay. We're gonna start with some nice and slow hip circles. Woo-hoo-hoo. Come on through some deep range of motion. After the side splits, you might feel it in the left and right side of your hip. That is very normal. Take your time. Oh, come through, hang out, chill, and oh, come through some more. Rotate the other direction. When your hips are feeling a little smoother after you spent some time troubleshooting, let's do a quick high knee. If your knees come up, we're ready to move on. All right? We're going to do a couple of calf raises in a squat position. I want you to get your feet underneath you, not super wide, not too close, just chilling underneath you. All right. We're going to drop into a squat, and you don't have to go super deep with your butt down. You can get to just roughly 90-ish degrees is fine. Bring your chest down towards your legs if you can. Try to bring your knees forward towards your toes if you can. You should feel like you're about to topple over. And that is the sensation we want, because it's going to force your toes to really grip the ground. It's going to force the arch of your foot to get real stable, to clamp down on the ground. And that's what we want. You should feel this nice Achilles tendon stretch, this calf stretch, and we're ready to get into some calf raises. All right. While feeling that leaning forward sensation, I want you to come up on your toesies and then come on back down. Come on back up. Come on back down. If you need to, put your hands down for a little bit of support. Take some weight off, put it in your arms, and once you're done, 5 of those, chances are you are probably fine, because we got your toes working with the arch of your foot, planting straight down on the ground. We got the Achilles tendon feeling that crazy stretch. We had the calves stretched, and then we strengthen them with some calf raises. Our knees, our ankles, our hips, our feet were going through a whole bunch of range of motion, trying to stay balanced, and our quads probably were ready to quit a while back. Our low back was holding up our back, trying to keep us folded. A whole bunch of these joints and muscles from basically your hips down got tested, put through the ringer, and if you were able to do most of those movements, chances are you're probably pretty good for the rest of the day. All right, that is the life. Thank you so much for being here, practicing consistency, working on your side splits, working on your hip mobility with me today. We are ready to wrap. It is 74 minutes into the live. We had some internet technical difficulties, and thank you for sticking around and being here because I think there was like a whole 2 minutes where the whole entire live just disappeared. I appreciate you guys, and I hope you have a wonderful rest of your Sunday. Hope you're feeling good and you're ready to go crush the rest of your day. I make some other content I'd love for you to check out. Most recently, made a pull up tutorial. So if you feel like you're almost kind of close, possibly, to a pull up, please check that out and see if some of those tips can help you snag your first pull up in the next couple of days, next couple of weeks. The YouTube video is over on YouTube. If you're on TikTok, the username is splits on the side, so it's the same as on TikTok. Just go find that account over on YouTube, and it's the most recent long form video, the wide kind, but the regular YouTube video, not the doom scrolling kind. Cool. Is there anything else I need to talk about? We have one more live tonight at 9 p.m. Eastern. That is our normal standard time. If you're ready for some more side splits, feel free to come back for that. If you're feeling beat up and you need a little bit of rest, feel free to not come to that. And with that, I think I'm done with announcements. I'm going to check out the chat real quick, and then we will wrap up so you can all hang out. Okay. Blackacre says, I can get pretty deep in the pancake, but the front of my left hip feels locked up. Help. All right. When you are in that pancake, do you think you're leaning? Do you think you have more weight on one leg than the other? Or like if you're seated, are you more angled in one direction versus the other? Because that could be what's happening. Um, Let me think. Pancake, pancake. Yeah. Um, Sometimes it could also be the rotation of the leg, right? In general, when you're doing the pancake from a standing position, so that you can see what my legs are doing, we want the knees to be pointing up or pointing forward in this case. If you're seated, your knees would be pointing up. If your leg is rotating a whole bunch, that is probably going to make a difference. So, assuming your hips and your thigh bones are very, very normal, make sure your legs are not at different rotations. If one leg is super rotated and the other is, rotated in the opposite direction, so they're both pointing left, for example, that might explain why one hip lets you go a little further than the other. All right, and you can't just look at the feet, even though it seems more obvious. You gotta look at the thigh bones. The knees will be more helpful for that. Okay, I hope that helps. If you got a follow-up question, let me know. In the meantime, I'm gonna scroll up. Neko Panda says, hello, it's been a while. You're still doing it. I am absolutely doing it. This show is about consistency. All right. A lot of it, obviously, is mobility and side splits, but it is at its core about showing up consistently and making, those decisions that you need to make in order to be here to show up consistently. I'm wondering how deep I want to go into this today. This live exists because I have wanted to do side splits for like 15 years. And I have this tendency of doing like 3 hours of research on December 31st or like December 27th or whatever week before New Year's, and then making this great old plan that I follow for like a week, maybe two, and then by middle of January I have completely stopped, forgotten about my side split goals, and then remembered like in June for like another week, and then forgot again until next January, making no progress the whole time. And I was like, it's pretty embarrassing that I've been trying to do this for 15 years and I still haven't got it. So I'm going to crack down and I'm going to focus. I'm going to get it done. And I know my problem has always been practicing consistently. So this live is designed to help me be consistent. The show is not super crazy. I do this live something like 9 times a week. All right. If you find any random workout plan on the internet, they go like 2, 3 times a week tops. I'm doing 9 times a week. This is more like a slightly intense warm up than it is a full on muscle building workout. And I can recover from this with this amount of load for the most part. My hamstring is a little bit twitchy today, which is not normal. But I've also been sleeping real bad because my dog was sick and my sleep hours are all messed up. So that could be why I'm also not recovering very well. Because I know that consistency is my problem, I've designed this life to build consistency to help build accountability, right? We show up every day. We show up at the same time pretty much every single day, unless something really difficult to do anything about happens. I've done hundreds of these lives, and I will tell you right up front that this is great for your early stages of building flexibility. It is not going to be that useful if you're really deep in the game and you're pretty close or within a couple inches of your side split, because it might not be enough intensity for your side split. So for the first like 75%, it does a good job and it's fine. And it helps you build consistency so that it's easier for you to keep on doing the thing, right? Um, the final little bit requires a little bit more training and it requires a little bit more intensity, in my opinion. And I am not getting as much of that as I probably should because this live already runs about 90 minutes a day and I don't want to spend more time stretching. Um, if this live runs 90 minutes and I do 9 of these a day, it's like 15, 16 hours a week that I'm spending doing the live. And I cannot be spending more time doing exercises. So that interrupts my own personal training. But I think the consistency is so important and so useful outside of just our show, this thing, that I like to emphasize it every single day when I can. When you build consistency in the back of your head in this imaginary thing going on, you realize that you become a consistent person. When you think you are a consistent person, when you're proud of being a consistent person, it makes a whole lot of other things that you want to be consistent about easier to do because you realize you're the type of person who shows up. You're the type of person who makes the little sacrifices that need to happen in order for you to show up. And that, at the end of the day, is what this life is about. It is plenty inconvenient for it to be 9 p.m. every day because I have friends who work until 8 p.m. that I struggle to see. uh, and it's 9 p.m. on a Saturday night that I'm here showing up. Some of us are trying to go hang out and meet people. Those are sacrifices, right? Mine are different from yours, and they'll never always be equivalent. But at some point, you have to make a decision to show up consistently, and that's what this live is trying to support you to do. Trying to make at least the hip mobility and side splits portion fun enough that you just come in, you chill, you relax, do some stretches, you get that little checkbox in the back of your head going, I crushed it. You feel good about yourself in both the exercise and the fact that you were super consistent. And hopefully you take some of the mini lessons in here and apply it to whatever it is that you want to work on next. All right. If you don't want to work on side splits, you don't want to work on hip mobility, you got something to work on for work, you got to take a course, a certification or something. Those are all things you still need consistency for. And a dog just joined us. Hello. Um, got distracted. Consistency is hard. Super, 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 super hard. So, because somehow this live has turned into something I've been super ridiculously consistent with, I don't want to let it drop. I'm going to try and keep it up as much as possible until my life changes and I need to make some other decisions with 15, 16 hours of my week. Um, That's it. That's the life. All right, I'm gonna scroll, check out the chat. I looked at YouTube real quick. Neko Panda has been here, and Bayologist says thank you. Getting up now. That's awesome. I'm glad that I could help you get out of bed. Bayologist right before says something like watching in bed. Yep, exactly. No worries. The question was, what time Pacific time are you on? That would be 6 p.m. Pacific. It's a little bit early for most people who work a day job in Pacific time. But if you're able to make it, it's 6 p.m. Pacific time. 9 p.m. Eastern time is the standard usual time. This is the weekend time. So on Saturday and Sunday mornings, we do a 9 a.m. Eastern live, which is a 6 a.m. East Pacific, like, oh, yeah, you're getting up at like 7:30 out of bed. That makes a lot of sense. It's still super early for you. Black Acre says, thanks, Ken. You're welcome. I'm glad that was helpful. Let's see what else we got. What else we got? What else we got? What else we got? And scroll up, scroll up, scroll up. Shay says, welcome everyone. I do Q&A at the end of the show. Awesome. Thank you for letting people know. Aleshka says, hi, hello. Shay says, yes, it's 10:05 a.m. Yes, 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 yes. You are in New York time. Correct. It is currently 10:24 a.m. This live starts at 9 a.m. It started an hour and 24 minutes ago, and we've run for the majority of it happens in about an hour, and I'm still trying to trim it down. Still trying to trim it down. In the European time zones, I think it is 6 hours ahead in Germany. Somebody told me yesterday, so that would make it currently 4:24 in Germany. That is the one European time zone I know for sure. I think it might be 3:24 in the UK because that's one time zone earlier. All right, I'm still scrolling through the chat and looking for old comments to respond to, but it's looking light, possibly because we had that weird internet outage and glitch. And if there is nothing else, I'm going to wrap up. Nope, that is a CJ is a longtime watcher and rising star in your life. TikTok gives me a lot of information about you guys. Mostly, it just likes to remind me that people are here, so I can call out your names, I guess. And CJ, I hope you're on. Jay says you remembered today. Oh, what did I do? Oh, I remembered to tell you guys to use your stools and use some tools and get some tools. Ganowski says here. Welcome back, Ganowski. Good to see you. Thank you for jumping back and forth between YouTube and TikTok. I appreciate the support on both platforms. Anne says Ken is the best. Thank you, Anne. I appreciate you. Thank you for coming back. And Chereth says thank you. Thank you, Chereth. What else we got? Oh, that's it. I have run out of scrolly things to scroll to because TikTok cuts off old messages after a certain point, and that is it. Kills Mom asks, do you have any videos on sciatica? Mine is really bad on both sides. I do not have any videos on sciatica. I have zero expertise. I've watched a whole bunch of videos recently because sciatica comes up a lot as a question on the live to get a little bit more familiar with it, but I got zero confidence in giving you anything remotely useful. So I'm going to try to play it safe, both for me and kind of for you, because I don't know what I'm talking about, and not gonna give you any more information about sciatica. All right. Okay, now Steve is here. Oh, Travel with Rex. Thank you for telling the. Is that really what it says? Killies, Mom. Okay, cool. That's it. That's our life. Flagger says, "Ooh, decompression is so needed in my life." Quick summary of decompression is you just want to separate your upper back and your lower back from being stuck together, right? So you need a little bit of force in both directions. If you have a pull-up bar or something to hang from, preferably something that's really comfortable to hold on to hang from, because you want to hang there for long enough to let your back muscles chill and relax, that is going to be really nice, all right? Alternatively, if you have a kitchen counter that is an angle, perhaps, or even if you have not a kitchen counter at an angle, a flat surface, if you sort of flop your body over that flat surface and you kind of let your legs drape off the side and you just hang out here for a little bit, there'll be a little bit of decompression in that low back, and that should feel pretty nice. If you're hanging from a pull-up bar and you're not just flopped over a surface and just letting your legs dangle off of something, that will be a little bit more applicable to the length of your spine. When you're hanging off something like a pull-up bar, you also get a little bit more in the shoulder blades and all the stuff in the back muscles as well. It won't just be your spine, so it'll be, you know, a little bit more useful for your whole body in that way. But if you're suffering from like your low back is feeling tight and you're like, ugh, the stuff that you really care about is down here anyway. So either of those will be fine. Some other things you could do is probably get two chairs, preferably sturdy chairs that you can kind of hang out in between. If you're strong enough and tall enough, or short enough, I guess you can stick your hands down on the seat of the chair. If you want, you can sort of plant your elbows like you would in a plank, right? And lift your knees up a little bit. It'd probably be better for you to lift your ankles up a bit and not your knees, because that will force your low back muscles often to do a little bit extra work, whereas lifting your ankles does not put that kind of same amount of work into your low back. So if you can, something like this shape will work off of most chairs. And you don't have to start with your feet off the ground. Most of us might not be that comfortable to start with all of your leg weight pulling down at your spine. So if you have, we're just looking for something I can do this with here in this corner. I don't have anything. If you have, oh, I'm making a mess. If you have something to elevate your hand, and you can just gently, wow, this is not remotely tall enough. If your knees can come slightly off the ground, and you can just rest your toesies down, you can do a little gentle little hip wiggle. That should help with decompressing the spine a little bit. Try to find something taller than these parallel bars. I just don't have anything that I can immediately drag over in this room. So bad example. Ignore my example. But find something to lean on. Find something to support your weight. Let your hips drop to the ground towards that way, and chill. That's basically what decompression is. There's a whole bunch of fancy tools you can buy for decompression. Some people will buy like these boots that you can hook to a pull-up bar and then hang off of. That is doable. If you got not so secure a pull-up bar, maybe not as smart to do that particular method. They have inversion tables, which are things that basically just get into with your head up, and the whole table flips upside down, and then you're upside down. That's also something. That will probably be way more comfortable to hang out in for longer periods of time if you want some gentle relaxation for a bit. But something to hang off of, a pull-up bar, will often do. In general, it's probably also the easiest to stick your hands down into something, because your weakest link when you're hanging is going to be your grip strength. When your hands get tired, it's going to be really hard to hang, right? So play around with it. I think for most people at home, it'll be better for you to stick your hands down on something and let your low back relax. You're super needy this morning, huh? I'm talking to the dog, not you guys. Okay, that I think is all I got for today. The dog wants attention so bad. Yes, yes, indeed. That's why he got let in. I think he was scratching at the door. I can't hear because I have the earbuds in and I'm also talking at the same time. But yeah. Okay. Oh, we got a couple of comments saying definitely trying that right now, and me too. Let me know how'd that go. Kanowski says log off, spend time with the dog. I gotta go pick up a friend from the airport, so I also have to go. Black Egger says you rock. Awesome. I think that's a good sign that that was helpful. We're ready to wrap. Thank you for being here. We're 90 minutes deep into the live. We are back at 9 p.m., which is 10 and a half hours from now. And we do this live every single day at 9 p.m. Eastern, Monday through Sunday. All right. This is the exception because on the weekends we have the 9 a.m. live Eastern time. And that's it. Cool. Bye. Hit follow, hit subscribe. I'll see you guys soon.